Yeah. Okay. How's my angel, huh? Yeah. Grumbling. Hey, Avery. Was this run last night? No, because it's not full. That's okay. That's okay. Hey, Victoria. Hey, Mina. Hey, everybody. Good morning, good morning. Hey, Samantha. Okay. Let's get our collagen out. Guess what? Who got a notification? Oh, you got a notification. Wow. TikTok knows that they're about to go down, and now they decide to give notifications? Strange. Strange, strange. Strange though it may seem. Here we are. Here we are. On this beautiful morning. Do you think that today maybe it won't be as windy as it was yesterday? You can go for a walk. Yesterday it was too windy for a little miss to go outside. Yeah. Okay, good morning, Jen. She's doing great. How are you? I caved and I had to watch all the movies and some of the other. Oh yeah, definitely Christmas. The difference for me was I was reading the books before the movies were made, so I never had the temptation of, oh, should I just go watch the movie or anything like that, because the movies didn't exist. Morning, Roxy. Morning, Cindy. So it's different, Oh, okay. Are you maybe saying you want your bouncer? Well, as soon as Mommy's done making coffee, we can go to the bouncer. If you just give us a minute. Hey, Freya. You just give Mommy a minute to make coffee, we can go to the bouncer. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. She says good morning in her own way. Okay. We're gonna, oh no, homesick. Oh, Becca's kids are sick too. Or one of them anyway. Everybody's kids are sick. Okay. Okay. You want the bouncy. You want the bouncy. I know. Just give Mommy 1 minute. Just give Mommy 1 minute. We'll go to the bouncy. We'll go to the bouncy. We will. I promise. I promise. I promise. I'll put you in it as soon as I get over there. Mommy just wants some coffee. Mommy wants coffee. Mommy wants coffee. Yes, she does. Mommy wants coffee. Mommy wants coffee. Mommy wants coffee. Yes, she does. Morning Club. She is such a cuddle bug. She's a cuddly bug. Isn't this with the sun stripe, the rainbow wrap with the sun flare on her? It's like, I don't know. Good morning. How are you? Thank you for catching that thing about Devin, by the way. Good catch. You can wait 1 minute before going in the bouncer. You're fed, you're cozy, you're loved. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. So the thing about it is that Patreon's features are limited on the phone app, but when she's done eating and she wants to sleep in my arms, she does not want me on the computer. And when I try not to use my phone when she's awake with me, but obviously this is different. I'm not using it like she can't see you guys. But once she's fallen asleep, I have to work. So I try to do work from my phone, which is not always successful, or at least not always as successful as the computer. She's not a fan of the computer. Yeah, you're not, huh? You're not a fan of the computer? Do you want to tell them why? Mommy doesn't know why, but if you'd like to tell them, you can. Do you have anything you want to say about the computer? Okay. Oh, jeez. Milk just splattered everywhere. This is the most inefficient creamer topper design. No matter how many times I use it, every single time I open it, it sprays everywhere. Like literally it got on the cabinets up above where the phone is just by clicking it open like this is like a normal person. Like, what are we talking about here? Bless you. Like, why does it do that? I don't know. But it's bad design. She says no screen time. That's right. She said no computer. No computer. But now are you going to fall asleep maybe? That would be so great. It would be good. My aunt is coming to play with her today while I make slime, which we did yesterday also. It's very efficient. They play in the living room while Mommy makes slime near them, so she knows that I'm here and can hear my voice, but I have my hands free to make slime. That's good. Yeah. 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 That's right. She's going to come play with you. Hey, Natasha. Natasha, I heard that your school was really cool. Grand Canyon spring break and it snowed. Oh, in the Grand Canyon? I didn't even know that was a thing. Shows what I know. It's amazing that she's getting great auntie time. Yes. Wow. I love the gradient on this. It makes me just feel happy. You didn't take photos? No, come on. You're literally a Gen Z who doesn't use her phone as much as the rest of them, which is shocking news. Shocking news. Little Miss here says she's shocked, Natasha. She also says that you can come. Yes, that's right. Living in the moment is the way to do it. I agree. But she also says you can come visit her again anytime. Okay. There we go. That's true, Natasha. That's very true. You want to live in the moment. I agree. You know what the crazy thing for me is? The crazy thing for me is this is the size, thank you, Rainbows of Glitter. This is the size that Natasha was the first time I held her. This right here, it is Mina. It is the most delicious treat. And now she's going to high school, and that breaks my heart because I remember this version of Natasha. She didn't have a wrap like this. I held her like, you know, like a baby like that. But it's true. She was little like that, and now she's going to high school, and it's breaking my heart. My heart is broken, but it's okay. I'm happy for you, and I'm glad that you are so accomplished and lovely. Yeah, accomplished and lovely. Those are the things that you are. You are smart, and you are good at so many things, and you're a beautiful girl. Yeah. You're all those things. Okay. Hey, Ray. You know what? That's a good question. Let me look in 1 second. I have the book next to me, and I will find out for you. Hold on 1 second, Ray. We are on chapter 12. We are on chapter 12. Yes, we do wish for our youth to go that way. In case any of you don't know, Natasha is a tennis champion, and I don't say that lightly.
She is best in class. Are we sleepy? So now we've decided it's sleepy time. Yes, the new book. Oh my god, it's so good. All right, see you later, Ray. So remember how when we were making coffee, she was complaining that she wanted to go in her bouncer? Well, now she is asleep, which is great. It is 8:38. I need to remember that. My hubby loves tennis and wishes it was more popular. Yes. You played tennis in high school too, Jen? Oh my gosh. Yes, she is a high school champion. Thank you, Mina. I really appreciate that. Yeah, 8:38. She is out like a light. Out like a light. My favorite place for her to nap is right here because I can hear her breathing and I don't have to wonder, you know? If you know, you know. You played, yeah, I also played but wasn't good at it. But I played when I was much younger than Natasha is and didn't stick with it the way that she did. Natasha's been playing for a long time. She is so good. Thank you, Mina. I see the text and I appreciate that. She's so good and just, yeah, it does end too soon. I know. I don't want it to stop. Secret Husband says that all the time. He says there's gonna come a day when she's not gonna want to nap on me anymore and I'm gonna be heartbroken. And yes, I don't think Liz is here this morning. I think she's at an event that she had to go to. She was driving somewhere this morning. And since she works from home, that's, you know, a rarity. Hey, Shawnee. Hey, Naisa. So we fell asleep, which means we can read now. Very exciting. Very exciting for all of us. So we are on chapter 12 today. We'll probably read 12 and 13, I assume. I don't know. We're going to see how it goes. But let's get into it because the sooner we get into it, the more we get read. Am I right? Let's go. If anyone's keeping track of pages for their Goodreads, we are on page 161 right now. And I'll let you know where we are when we reach the end. Thank goodness I had the foresight to belt myself in. I rolled sideways off the fork and am facing the ground, held into place by the belt, one hand and my feet straddling the backpack inside my sleeping bag. I'm braced against the trunk. There must have been some rustling when I tipped sideways, but the careers have been too caught up in their own argument to catch it. Go on, lover boy, says the boy from District 2. You see for yourself. I get a glimpse of Peta, lit by the torch, heading back towards the girl by the fire. His face is swollen with bruises, and there's a bloody bandage on one arm, and from the sound of it, his gait is somewhat limping. I remember him shaking his head and telling me not to go and fight for supplies, when all along he had planned to go and throw himself into the thick of things. Good morning, Avery. We're only one paragraph in. Just the opposite of what Hamish had told him to do. Okay, I can stomach that. Seeing all those supplies was tempting, but this other thing, teaming up with the Careers Wolfpack to hunt down the rest of us, no one from District 12 would ever think of doing such a thing. Career tributes are overly vicious, arrogant, better fed, but only because they're the capital lapdogs. Universally, solidly hated by those other than their own district. I can imagine the things that they're saying about him back home right now, and Peta has the gall to talk to me about disgrace. Obviously, the noble boy on the rooftop was playing one more game with me, but this will be his last. I eagerly watch the night skies for the sign of his death, and that's if I don't kill him first. The career tributes are silent until he gets out of earshot, and then they use hushed voices. Why don't we just kill him and get it over with now? Let him tag along. What's the harm? He's handy with that knife. Is he? That's news. What a lot of interesting things I'm learning today about my friend Peta. Besides, he's our best chance of finding her. It takes me a moment to register that the her they're referring to is me. Why? You think she bought into that sappy romance stuff? I don't know, she might have. She seemed pretty simple-minded to me. Every time I think about her spinning around in that dress, I just want to puke. I wish we knew how she got that 11. I bet you Loverboy knows how she got that 11. The sound of Peta returning silences them. All right, was she dead? Asked the boy from District 12. Nope, but she is now, says Peta just as the cannon fires. Ready to move on? The career, oh my God, that's so sad. Oh, Peta, what have you become? I guess eat or be eaten, right? The career pack sets off at a run just as dawn begins to break. The bird's song fills the air. I remain in my awkward position, muscles trembling with exertion for a while longer, and then I hoist myself back onto the branch. Good morning, Isabella. I need to get down and to get going, but for a moment I lie there and I digest what I've heard. Not only is Peeta with the careers, but he's helping them find me. The simple-minded girl who is taken seriously because of her 11, because she can use a bow and arrow, which Peeta knows better than anyone else. But he hasn't told them yet. Is he saving that information because he knows that it's keeping him alive? Is he still pretending to love me for the sake of the audience? What is going on in his head? And suddenly, the birds fall silent, and then one gives a high-pitched warning call. A single note, just like the one that Gail and I heard when that red-headed Avox girl was caught. High above the dying campfire, a hovercraft materializes. A set of large metal teeth drop down, and slowly, gently, the dead tribute girl is lifted into the hovercraft, and then it vanishes, and the birds resume their song. Move, I whisper to myself, and I wriggle out of my sleeping bag. I roll it up and place it in my pack, and then I take a deep breath. While I've been concealed by darkness in the sleeping bag and the willow branches, it's been difficult for the camera to get a good shot of me, and I know they must be tracking me now, though. The minute I hit the ground, I guarantee there's a close-up on me. The audience will be beside themselves knowing I was in the tree and that I heard the careers talking and that I discovered Peeta was with them. Until I work out exactly how I want to play that, I'd better at least act on top of things, not perplexed, certainly not confused or frightened. I need to look one step ahead of the game. So as I slide out of the foliage and into the dawn light, I pause a second, giving the camera time to lock on me, and then I cock my head slightly to the side and give an annoying smile. There. Let them figure out what that means. I'm about to take off when I think of my snares. Maybe it's imprudent to check them when the others are so close, but I have to. Too many years of hunting, I guess. And there's the lure of possible meat. I'm rewarded with one fine rabbit, and in no time I've cleaned and gutted the animal, leaving the head, feet, tail, skin, and innards under a pile of leaves. I'm wishing for fire. Eating raw rabbit can give you rabbit fever, a lesson that I learned the hard way. And when I think of the dead tribute, ugh. I hurry back to her camp. Sure enough, there's coals from the dying fire that are still hot. I cut up the rabbit, fashion a spit out of branches, and set it over the coals. Hey, Becca. I'm glad for the cameras now. I want the sponsors to see that I can hunt, and that I'm a good bet because I won't be lured into traps as easily as the others will by hunger. While the rabbit cooks, I grind up parts of a charred branch and set about camouflaging my orange pack. The black tones it down, but a layer of mud would definitely help. Of course, to have mud, I would have needed to find water. I pull on my gear, grab my spit, and kick some dirt over the coals, and take off in the opposite direction of the careers. I eat half the rabbit as I go, and then wrap up the leftovers in my plastic for later. The meat stops the grumbling in my stomach, but it does little to quench my thirst. Water is my top priority now. As I hike along, I feel certain that I'm still holding the screen in the Capitol, so I'm careful to continue hiding my emotions. But what a good time Claudius Templesmith must be having with his guest commentators, dissecting Peeta's behavior and my reaction. What to make of it all? Has Peeta revealed his true colors? How does this affect betting odds? Will we lose sponsors? Did we even have sponsors? Yes, I feel certain that we do, or at least we did. Certainly Peeta has thrown a wrench in our star-crossed lover dynamic, or maybe has he? Maybe he hasn't. Since he's spoken so much about me, we can still get some mileage out of it. Maybe people will think it's something we plotted together if it seems like it amuses me now. And the sun rises in the sky, and even through the canopy it seems overly bright. I coat my lips in some grease from the rabbit, and I try to keep from panting, but it's no use. It's only been a day, and I'm dehydrating fast. Love you guys. See you later. Hi, Sawyer. We love you. I try and think of everything I know about finding water. Water runs downhill, so in fact, continuing into the valley isn't a bad thing. And if I could locate a game trail or a spot particularly green patch of vegetation, that might help me along, but nothing seems to change. There's the slightest gradual slope, the birds, the sameness to the trees. As the day wears on, I know I'm headed for trouble. What little urine I've been able to pass is a dark brown, and my head is aching, and there's a dry patch on my tongue that refuses to moisten. The sun hurts my eyes, so I dig out my sunglasses, but when I put them on, it does something funny to my vision, so I stuff them back into my pack. It's late in the afternoon when I think I've found help. I spot a cluster of berry bushes and hurry to strip the fruit to suck the sweet juices from beneath their skin, but just as I'm holding them to my lips, I get a hard look. What I thought were blueberries have a slightly different shape, and when I break them open, the insides are blood red. I don't recognize these berries. Perhaps they're edible, but I'm guessing there's some evil trick on the part of the game makers. So even the plant instructor in the training center made a point of telling us to avoid berries unless we were 100% sure that they weren't toxic. That's something I already knew, but I'm so thirsty, it took her giving me a reminder to give me the strength to fling them away. Fatigue is beginning to settle on me, but it's not the usual tiredness that follows along the hike. I have to stop and rest frequently, although I know the only cure for what ails me right now requires a continued search. I try a new tactic, climbing the tree as high as I dare in my I climb the tree as high as I dare in my shaky state to look for any sign of water, but as far as I can see in any direction, there's the same unrelenting stretch of forest. Determined to go on until nightfall, I walk until I'm stumbling over my feet. Exhausted, I haul myself up into the tree and belt myself in. I've got no appetite, but I suck on rabbit bone just to give my mouth something to do. Night falls, and the anthem plays, and high in the sky I see the picture of the girl who was apparently from District 8, the one that PETA went back to finish off. My fear of the career pack is minor compared to my burning thirst. Besides, they were headed away from me, and by now they too will have to rest. The scarcity of water, they might have returned to the lake for refills. Maybe that's the only course for me as well. Morning brings distress. My head throbs with every beat of my heart. Simple movements send stabs of pain through my joints. I fall rather than jump from the tree, and it takes several minutes for me to assemble my gear. Somewhere inside me, I know that this is wrong. I should be acting with more caution, moving with more urgency, but my mind seems foggy, and forming a plan is hard. I lean back against the tree, one finger gingerly stroking the sandpaper surface of my tongue, and I assess my options. How can I get water? Return to the lake? No good. I'd never make it. Hope for rain? No, there's not a cloud in the sky. Keep looking. Yes, this is my only chance. But then another thought hits me, and the surge of anger that follows brings me to my senses. Hamish. Hamish could send me water. Press a button and he'd have it delivered to me in a silver parachute in minutes. I know that I must have sponsors, at least one or two who could afford a pint of liquid for me. Yes, it's pricey, but these people, they're made of money, and they've been betting on me as well. Perhaps Hamish doesn't realize how deep my need is, so I say in a voice as loud as I dare, water, and I wait, hoping for a parachute to descend from the sky, but nothing is forthcoming. Something is wrong. Am I deluded about having sponsors? Or has PETA's behavior made them all hang back? No, I don't believe it. There's someone out there who wants to buy me water, only Hamish is refusing to let it go through. As my mentor, he gets to control the flow of gifts from the sponsors, and I know he hates me. He's made that clear enough, but enough to let me die? From this? He can't do that, can he? If a mentor mistreats his tributes, he'll be held accountable by the viewers, by the people back in District 12, and even Hamish wouldn't risk that. Would he? Say what you will about my fellow traders in the Hob, but I don't think that they would welcome him back there if he let me die this way. And then where would he get his liquor? So, what? Is he trying to make me suffer for defying him? Is he directing all the sponsors towards PETA? Is he just too drunk to even notice what's going on at the moment? Somehow I don't believe that, and I don't think he's trying to kill me off by neglect either. He has, in fact, his own unpleasant way, been genuinely trying to prepare me for this, but then, what's going on? I bury my face in my hands. There's no danger of tears now. I couldn't produce a tear to save my life. But what is Hamish doing? Despite my anger, hatred, and suspicions, a small voice in the back of my head whispers the answer. Maybe he's sending you a message, it says. A message? But saying what? And then I know. There's only one good reason that Hamish would be withholding water from me. And that's because he knows I've almost found it. Ooh, I just got chills. Ooh. Oh, sorry. Such a good moment. I grit my teeth and pull myself to my feet. My backpack, it seems to have tripled in weight, and I find a broken branch that will do for a walking stick, and I start off. The sun's beating down, even more searing than the first few days. I feel like an old piece of leather drying and cracking in the heat, and every step is an effort, but I refuse to stop. I refuse to sit down. If I sit, there's a good chance I won't be able to get up again, and then I won't even remember my task. What easy prey I am now. Any tribute, even Tiny Roo, could take me right now, merely shove me over and kill me with my own knife, and then I'd have the strength to resist. But if anyone is in my part of the woods, they're ignoring me. The truth is, I feel 1,000,000 miles from any other soul. Not alone, though. No, they've surely got a camera tracking me now. I think back to the years of watching the tributes starve and freeze and bleed and dehydrate to death. Unless there's a really good fight going on somewhere, I'm surely being featured. My thoughts turn to Prim. It's likely she won't be watching me live, but they will show the updates at school during lunch. For her sake, I try to look as least desperate as I can. But by afternoon, I know the end is coming. My legs are shaking. My heart is too quick. I keep forgetting exactly what I'm doing. I've stumbled repeatedly and managed to regain my feet, but when the stick slides out from under me, I finally tumble to the ground, unable to get up, and I let my eyes close. I've misjudged Hamish. He has no intention of helping me at all. Hey, Haley. This is all right, I think. It's not so bad here. The air's less hot, signifying evening's approach. There's a slight sweet scent that reminds me of lilies. My fingers stroke the smooth ground, sliding easily across the top. This is an okay place to die, I think. My finger makes a small swirling pattern in the cool, slippery earth. I love mud, I think. How many times I've tracked game with the help of its soft, readable surface. Good for bee stings, too. Mud, mud, mud. My eyes fly open. Mud! I dig my fingers into the earth. Wait! It's mud! My nose lifts into the air. Those are lilies. Pond lilies. I crawl now through the mud, dragging myself towards the scent. 5 yards from where I fell, I crawl through a tangled plant and into a pond. Floating on the top, yellow flowers are in bloom. My beautiful lilies. All I can do not to plunge my face into the water and gulp down as much as I can hold, but I have just enough sense left to abstain. With my trembling hands, I get out my flask and I fill it with water. I add what I remember to be the right number of drops of iodine to purify it. Then a half an hour of waiting. It's agony, but I do it. At least I think it's a half an hour, but I certainly wait as long as I can stand. Slowly, easily now, I tell myself, and I take one swallow and I make myself wait, and then another. And over the next couple of hours, I drink the entire half gallon, and then a second, and I prepare another before I retire to a tree where I continue to sip, eating rabbit, and even indulging in one of my precious crackers. By the time the anthem plays, I feel remarkably better. There are no faces tonight, no tributes died today. Tomorrow I'll stay here, resting, camouflaging my backpack with mud, catching some of those fish that I saw when I slipped. Digging up the roots of the pond lilies, that'll make a nice meal. I snuggle down into my sleeping bag and hang onto my water bottle for dear life, which, of course, it is. A few hours later, the stampede of feet shakes me from my slumber, and I look around in bewilderment. It's not yet dawn, but my eyes are stinging. I can see it. It would be hard to miss the wall of fire that's descending upon me. Oh my god. Oh my god. Let me get some coffee and then we'll read the next chapter. Oh, I mean, she was right about Hamish, but that moment where you think she's not right and he's abandoned her, that's like, it's gut-wrenching. Gut-wrenching. Ah, coffee. Can you imagine being in the arena and someone drops you a hot cup of coffee like this? Not if there's fire around, it's too hot then, but like delightful. Honestly, sometimes the newborn trenches feel like being in the arena, and waking up to coffee feels like someone has sponsored me. It's terrible. I shouldn't say things like that. It's not that bad. Okay. I'm glad that you're reading these books. I can't wait to read the book I recommended to you. Which one was it, Roxy? Sometimes the chat goes so fast that I miss stuff. A Rockstar. Yeah, same difference. If they drop a Rockstar, you know, it's the same. Right? Which book are you talking about, Roxy? I know you've recommended a couple. Oh man, my eye. Wake up, eye. All the something. All the something. I don't think I saw that one. I must have missed that. My eyeball. Okay. Here we go. Chapter 13. My first impulse is to scramble from the tree, but I'm belted in. Somehow, my fumbling fingers release the buckle and I fall to the ground in a heap, still snarled in my sleeping bag. There's no time for any kind of packing. Fortunately, my backpack and water bottle are already in the bag. I shove in the belt and hoist the bag over my shoulder, and I flee. All the things we leave unfinished. Oh, all the things we leave unfinished. Yeah, I don't remember that one. The world has transformed to flame and smoke. Burning branches crack from the trees and fall in showers of sparks at my feet. All I can do is follow the others, the rabbits, the deer, and I even spot a pack of wild dogs shooting through the woods. I trust their sense of direction because their instincts are sharper than mine, but they're much faster, flying through the underbrush so gracefully as my boots catch on to roots. I fall through tree limbs, and there's no way I can keep a pace with them. The heat is horrible, but worse than the heat is the smoke, which threatens to suffocate me at any moment. I pull the top of my shirt over my nose, graceful to find it soaked in sweat. It offers a thin veil of protection, and I run, choking, my bag banging against my back, my face cut with the branches that materialize from the gray haze without warning, because I know I'm supposed to run. This was no Tribute's campfire gone out of control. This was not an accidental occurrence. The flames that bear down on me have an unnatural height and a uniformity that makes them as human-made, machine-made, game-maker-made. These things have been too quiet today. No deaths, perhaps no fights at all. The audience in the Capitol will be getting bored, claiming that these games are verging on dullness. This is the one thing that the games must not do. It's hard to follow the game maker's motivation. There's a career pack, and then there's the rest of us, probably spread far and thin across the arena. The fire is designed to flush us out, to drive us together. It might not be the most original device I've seen, but it's very, very effective. I hurtle over a burning log, not high enough. The tail end of my jacket catches on fire, and I have to stop and rip it from my body and stamp out the flames. But I don't dare leave the jacket. Scorched and smoldered as it is, I take the risk of shoving it into my sleeping bag, hoping that the lack of air there will quell whatever I haven't extinguished. This is all I have. What I carry on my back, it's little enough to survive with. In a matter of minutes, my throat and nose are burning. The coughing begins soon after, and my lungs begin to feel as if they're actually being cooked. Discomfort returns to distress until each breath sends a searing pain through my chest. I manage to take cover under a stone outcropping just as the vomiting begins, and I lose my meager supper and whatever water has remained in my stomach. Crouching on my hands and knees, I retch until there's nothing left to come up. I know I need to keep moving, but I'm trembling, lightheaded now, grasping for air. I allow myself a spoonful of water to rinse my mouth, and then I spit to take a few swallows from my bottle. You get 1 minute, I tell myself, 1 minute to rest, and I take the time to reorder my supplies. Oh, good morning.
Morning.
Are you going to a meeting?
Yeah.
Oh, do you want me to go in the other room?
No.
Oh.
I just need to listen to it. It's just
Oh, I didn't even know you had one this early.
it's compensation training stuff, you know.
Understood. Well, good morning and enjoy your coffee.
Stuff.
Yes, yes. Well, enjoy. Well, I don't know if that's even possible.
What?
I said enjoy, and then I said I don't even know if that's possible.
You know. It's what it is, right?
Yes. Well, if you need me to go in the other room, let me know.
Oh, no, it's all good.
You get 1 minute, I tell myself. 1 minute to rest. I take the time to reorder my supplies, wad up the sleeping bag, and messily stuff everything into my backpack. I would wait, Naisa, if it were me, but, you know, obviously I can't tell you what to do. But I always find, thank you, Anya. I always find that because if you watch the movie, I mean, you've seen them before though, right? So maybe it doesn't matter because you've seen them before, but like when I love being able to envision it in my mind first, and then see the movie, especially because the movie could never fit everything that's in the books in it. So you might like, I don't know, but it's obviously your choice. My minute's up then, and I know it's time to move on. I know, I hate waiting too. But the smoke has clouded my thoughts. The swift-footed animals that were my compass have left me behind now. I know I haven't been in this part of the woods before, and there was no sizable rock like the one I'm sheltered against from my earlier travels. Where are the game makers trying to drive me? Back to the lake? To a whole new terrain filled with new dangers? Had I just found a few hours of peace at the pond when this attack began? Would there be any way that I could travel parallel to the fire and work my bait back there, or at least to some source of water? Are you going to be upset now? How many minutes do I have before she wakes up, do you think? Yeah. Okay. Okay. 5, yeah, right? The wall of fire must have ended and it won't burn indefinitely, not because the game makers couldn't keep it fueled again, but that would invite accusations of boredom from the audience. If I could get back behind the fire line, I could avoid meeting with the career tributes. I've just decided to try and loop back around, although it will require miles of travel away from the inferno and then a very circuitous route back when the first fireballs then blast into the rock about 2 feet from my head. I spring out from under the ledge, energized by my renewed fear. The game has taken a twist. The fire was just to get us moving, and the audience will see some real fun now. You want out? You want out? Okay. Okay, you can have out. You can have out. You can have out. Come here. There you go. You're out. There you go. There you go. See? You can be out. Okay. Yeah. The fire was just to get us moving. The audience will see some real fun now. When I hear the hiss, I flatten onto the ground, not taking the time to look. The fireball hits a tree to my left, engulfing it in flames. To remain still is death. I'm barely on my feet before the third ball hits the ground where I was lying, sending a pillar of fire up behind me. Time loses meaning now as I frantically try to dodge the attacks. I can't see where they're being launched from, but it's not from a hovercraft. The angles are not extreme enough. Probably this whole segment of the woods has been armed with precision launchers that are concealed in the trees or rocks. Somewhere in a cool, spotless room, a game maker sits at a set of controls, fingers on the triggers that could end my life in a second. All I needed is a direct hit. Whatever the vague plan I had conceived regarding the return to my pond is wiped from my mind as I zigzag and dive and leap to avoid the fireballs. Each one is only the size of an apple, but it packs tremendous power on contact. Every sense I have goes into overdrive as the need to survive takes over. There's no time to judge if a move is the correct one. When there's a hiss, I act or I die. Something keeps me moving forward, though. A lifetime of watching the Hunger Games lets me know that certain areas of the arena are rigged for certain attacks, and that if I can just get away from this section, I might be able to move out of reach of the launchers. I might then fall straight into a pit of vipers, too, but I can't worry about that now. Turning pages is harder when you don't have your shoulder. Here we go. How long I scrambled along the dodging fireballs I can't say, but the attacks finally begin to abate, which is good because I'm retching again. This time it's an acidic substance that scalds my throat and makes its way into my nose as well. I'm forced to stop as my body convulses, trying desperately to rid itself of the poisons I've been sucking in during the attack. I wait for the next hiss, the next signal to bolt, but it doesn't come. The force of the retching has squeezed tears out of my stinging eyes. My clothes are drenched in sweat, and somehow, through the smoke and vomit, I pick up the scent of singed hair. My hand fumbles to my braid and finds a fireball has seared off at least 6 inches of my hair. Strands of blackened hair crumble against my fingers, and I stare at them, fascinated by the transformation, and then the hissing registers. My muscles react, only not fast enough this time. The fireball crashes into the ground at my side, but not before it skids across my right calf. Seeing my pant leg on fire sends me over the edge. I twist and scuttle backwards onto my hands and feet, shrieking, trying to remove myself from the horror. And when I finally regain enough sense, I roll the leg back and forth on the ground, which stifles out the worst of it. But then, without thinking, I rip away the remaining fabric with my bare hands. I sit on the ground a few yards from the blaze set off by the fireball. My calf is screaming. My hands are covered in red welts. I'm shaking too hard to move. If the game makers want to finish me off, now's the time. I hear Cinna's voice carrying the images of rich fabric and sparkling gems. Katniss, the girl who was on fire. What a good laugh the game makers must be having at that one now. Perhaps Cinna's beautiful costumes have brought on this particular torture for me. I know that he couldn't have foreseen this. He must be hurting for me because, in fact, I do believe he cares about me. But all in all, maybe showing up stark naked in the chariot would have been safer for me. The attack's over now. The game makers don't want me dead, not yet anyway. Everyone knows that they could destroy us within seconds of the opening gong, but the real sport of the Hunger Games is watching the tributes kill one another. Every so often they do kill a tribute just to remind the players that they can, but mostly they manipulate us into confronting one another face to face, which means if I'm no longer being fired at, there's at least one other tribute close at hand. I would drag myself into a tree and take cover if I could, but the smoke is still thick enough to kill me. I make myself stand up and begin to limp back away from the wall of flames that lights up the sky. It doesn't seem to be pursuing me any longer, except with its stinking black clouds. Another light, daylight, begins to softly emerge, and swirls of smoke catch the sunbeams. My visibility is poor. I can see maybe 15 yards in any direction. A tribute could easily be concealed from me here. I should draw my knife as a precaution, but my ability to do so doesn't hold for long. The pain in my hands can in no way compete with that of my calf. I hate burns. I've always hated them. Even a small one gotten from pulling a pan of bread from the oven. It's the worst kind of pain to me, and I've never experienced anything like this burn before. I'm so weary that I don't even notice I'm in the pool until I'm ankle deep. It's spring-fed, bubbling up out of a crevice in some rocks, and it's blissfully cool. I plunge my hands into the shallow water and I feel instant relief. Isn't that what my mother always says? The first treatment for a burn is cold water. It draws out the heat. But she means minor burns. She probably recommended it for my hands, but what about my calf? Although I've not yet had the courage to examine it, I'm guessing that it's an injury of a whole different class. I lie on my stomach at the edge of the pool for a while, dangling my hands into the water, examining the little flames on my fingernails that are beginning to chip off. Good. I've had enough fire for a lifetime. I bathe the blood and ash from my face, trying to recall all I know about burns. They're a common injury in the scene where we cook and heat our homes with coal, and then there are the mine accidents. A family once brought in an unconscious young man pleading with my mother to help him. The district doctor who's responsible for treating the miners had written him off and told the family to take him home to die, but they wouldn't accept this. He lay on our kitchen table, senseless to the world. I got a glimpse of the wound on his thigh. It was gaping, charred flesh burned clearly down to the bone, and then I ran from the house. I went into the woods and hunted for the entire day, haunted by that gruesome leg and memories of my father's death. What's funny was Prim, who's scared of her own shadow, stayed there and helped. My mother says healers are born, not made. They did their best, but the man died, just like the doctor said he would. My leg is in need of attention, but I still can't look at it. What if it's as bad as the man's was and I can see my bone? And then I remembered my mom saying that if a burn is severe, the victim might not even feel pain because the nerves would be destroyed. I'm encouraged by this, so I sit up and I swing my leg out in front of me. I almost faint at the sight of my calf. The flesh is still brilliant red, covered with blisters. I force myself to take deep, slow breaths, feeling quite certain that the cameras are on my face. I can't show any weakness at this injury, not if I want help. Pity doesn't get you aid. Admiration at your refusal to give in is what does. I cut the remains of the pant leg off at the knee and I examine the injury more closely. The burned area is about the size of my hand. None of the skin is blackened. I think it's not too bad to soak, and gingerly I stretch out my leg into the pool, propping the heel of my boot up on a rock so that the leather doesn't get too sodden, and I sigh, because this does offer some relief. I know that there are herbs, if I could find them, that would speed this healing, but I can't quite call them to mind. Water and time will probably be all I have to work with. Should I be moving on? The smoke is slowly clearing, but it's too heavy to be healthy. If I do continue away from the fire, I won't be walking straight into the weapons of the careers, won't I? Besides, every time I lift my leg from the water... The pain rebounds intensely and I have to slide it back in. My hands are slightly less demanding. They can handle small breaks from the pool. Whoop, 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 whoop. What are you doing there, kiddo? Where are you going? Oh, you're gonna be angry now? Don't be angry. She tried to get up. She was like, we're gonna stand now. And I was like, we're not. They can handle small breaks from the pool, so slowly I put my gear back in order. First, I fill my bottle with, yeah, it was a big stretch, with pool water, and I treat it. And when enough time has passed, I begin to rehydrate my body. After a time, I force myself to nibble on a cracker, which helps settle my stomach. I roll up my sleeping bag, and except for a few black marks, it's relatively unscathed. My jacket's another matter, though. It's stinking and scorched. At least a foot of the back is beyond repair. I cut off the damaged area, leaving me with a garment that comes to just the bottom of my ribs. But the hood's intact, and it's far better than nothing. I know, she was about to do something. Despite the pain, drowsiness begins to take over. I'd take to a tree to rest, except I'd be too easy to spot. Besides, abandoning my pool seems impossible right now. I neatly arrange my supplies and even settle my pack on my shoulders, but I can't seem to leave. I spot some water plants with edible roots, and I take a small meal with my last bit of rabbit, and I sip water. I watch the sun make its slow arc across the sky. Where would I go anyway that's safer than here? I lean back on my pack and overcome with drowsiness. If the careers want me, fine. Let them find me. I think about that before I drift into a stupor. Let them find me. And find me, they do. It's lucky I'm ready to move on when I hear their feet. I have less than a minute head start. Evening has begun to fall. The moment I awake, I'm up and running, splashing across the pool, flying into the underbrush. My leg slows me down, but I sense my pursuers are not as speedy as they were before the fire either. I hear their coughs, their raspy voices calling to one another, and still, they're closing in just like a pack of wild dogs. And so I do what I've done my whole life in such circumstances. I pick a high tree and I begin to climb. If running hurts, climbing is agonizing because it requires not only exertion, but direct contact of my hands on the tree bark. I'm fast though, and by the time I've reached the base of my trunk, I'm 20 feet. They've reached the base of my trunk, I'm 20 feet up. And for a moment, we stop and survey one another. I hope they can't hear the pounding of my heart. This could be it, I think. What chance do I have against them all? There's 6 of them here. 5 careers and PETA. And my only consolation is that they're pretty beat up too. Even so, look at their weapons. Look at their faces. They're grinning and snarling at me. A sure kill right above them. It seems pretty hopeless, but then something else registers. They're bigger and stronger than I am, no doubt. But they're also heavier. There's a reason it's me and not Gale who ventures up into the trees for the highest fruit and rob the most remote birds' nests. I must weigh at least 50 or 60 pounds less than the smallest career. Now I smile. How's everything with you down there? I call down cheerfully. This takes them aback, but I know the crowd will love it. Well, enough, says the boy from District 2. Yourself? Oh, it's been a bit warm for my taste, I say, and I can almost hear the laugh from the Capitol. The air's better up here, though. Why don't you come on up? I think I will, says the same boy. Here, take this, Cato, says the girl from District 1, and she offers him a silver bow and arrow sheath. My bow, my arrows, just the sight of them makes me so angry I want to scream at myself, at that traitor PETA for distracting me from having them. I try to make eye contact with him now, but he seems to be intentionally avoiding my gaze as he polishes his knife with the edge of his shirt. Nah, says Cato, pushing away the bow. I'll do better with my sword. I can see the weapon he has, a short, heavy blade at his belt, and I give Cato time to hoist himself into the tree before I begin to climb again. Gale always says I remind him of a squirrel the way that I could scurry up the slenderest limbs. Part of it's my weight, but part of it is practice. You have to know where to place your hands and your feet, and I'm another 30 feet in the air when I hear the crack, and I look down to see Cato falling as he flails through the branches on the way down. He hits the ground so hard that I'm hoping that maybe he's broken his neck, but when he gets back to his feet, he's swearing like a fiend. The girl with the arrows, Glimmer, I heard someone call her. Ugh, the names of these people in District 1. Why do they give their children something so ridiculous? Anyway, Glimmer scales the trees until the branches begin to crack under her feet, and then she has the good sense to stop. She sounds like me when I'm complaining about people's names. That's hilarious. That wasn't me adding that commentary. That commentary came from Katniss. I'm at least 80 feet high now, and she tries to shoot me. It's immediately evident that she's incompetent with a bow. One of the arrows gets lodged into the tree near me, though, and I'm able to seize it. I wave it teasingly above her head as if this is the sole purpose of retrieving it, when I actually mean to use it if I ever get the chance. I could kill every single one of them, if those silver weapons were in my hand. The couriers regroup on the ground, and I can hear them growling conspiratorially among themselves, furious I've made them look foolish. But twilight has arrived, and their window of attack on me is closing, and finally I hear Peeta say harshly, "Oh, let her stay up there. It's not like she's going anywhere. We'll deal with her in the morning." Well, he's right about one thing. I'm going nowhere. All the relief from the pool water has gone, leaving me to feel the full potency of my burns now. I scoop back down to a fork in the tree and clumsily prepare for bed. I put on my jacket and I lay out my sleeping bag, and I belt myself in, trying to keep from moaning. The heat of the bag is too much for my leg, so I cut a slash in the fabric and I hang my calf out in the open air, drizzle water on my wound, my hands. All my bravado is gone now. I'm weak from pain and hunger, but I can't bring myself to eat. Even if I can last the night, what will morning bring? I stare into the foliage, trying to will myself to rest, but the burns forbid it. The birds are settling down for the night too, singing lullabies to their young. Night creatures emerge. An owl hoots. The faint scent of skunk cuts through the smoke, and some eyes of the animals peer at me from the neighboring trees. A possum? Maybe. I don't know. Catching the firelight from the courier's torches, and suddenly I'm up on one elbow. No, those are no possum's eyes. I know their glassy reflection too well. In fact, those are not animal eyes at all. In the last dim rays of light, I make her out, watching me silently between the branches. Rue. How long has she been here? The whole time, probably, still and unobserved as the action unfolded beneath her. Perhaps she's headed up the tree shortly before I did, hearing the pack was so close. And for a while we hold each other's gaze. And then, without even rustling a leaf, her little hand slides into the open and points to something above my head. I don't remember what it was. I know, sweet little Rue. I don't remember what's there. Well, anyway, that was a good one. It's a good chapter. I'm gonna go. You do? Oh, you guys remember? Well, I don't. I don't remember. I have to go because I have Roll for Slime tonight, so I gotta get ready for Roll for Slime, which takes a bit of time to do. But I will see you all. We have Roll for Slime at 5 p.m. tonight. The sign up for the groups is up right now. Oh, it's a great book, Anya. It's a great book. If you are on a group Roll for Slime level, today's a great day to get it. If you are an April birthday, there is a group birthday being made as well. And what else? I think that's pretty much it, right? So I will see you all tonight and then again tomorrow morning. And I hope you have a great rest of your day in the meantime. Bye, guys.